like I've given them so many breaks. I haven't talked about so much stuff that I just
like literally 30 minutes ago, and I was like, but like, why do you think that? And they were like,
well, actually,
yeah.
Like, I feel like it's just as much
I guess it's
for you to be able to share
people
your
go get like their SGA. It's just have a lot.
Yeah.
and I just
Have
Or some people plus degree like get really into coding or whatever. It's like a fun pipeline popped up. I want to like.
So if you can't, then I'll set up a schedule.
You probably have a better chance of winning.
Yeah,
Or at least a better chance to make
Can you make it?
Oh yeah,
Can you make it for that?
yeah, I don't have it. I just like it's really difficult.
Well, we'll see if you can make it.
Okay. I was like, am I supposed to get on my phone?
And it's then I'll just have to reschedule for that. Thank you.
Oh. Okay. No. Yeah. I don't share this one. They literally skip Oh, yes.
It'll be a really quick.
Nice. You can do it. Well, okay. Hey, we just talked about the legislative party. I want to go on a trip. Where was all the we can open out for your needs. So they got their I read law, my favorite class. Just so you know. Oh, good! Because it takes a nerd to know a nerd. Okay? So interesting. I had 5 days of just higher ed case law.
And then
I've got a Bluetooth mic up on the stage. Do you want that to support you full time?
What? Oh. Yeah. Have fun, guys. What?
You're approved for the court, right, in Chelsea?
Yeah.
And you were involved, right? Yeah, I mean, I accepted. Oh!
Should be the minutes.
That's for now. Thank you. Just so you know, I'm not happy. 15? And I will call this meeting to order at 6:15 p.m. That will lead us
Recording in progress.
that will lead us to our Indigenous Land Recognition Statement. That will lead us to our Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And that will lead us into our Indigenous Land Recognition Statement. With profound reflection, we acknowledge that the University of Wisconsin Stevens Point exists upon lands inhabited by the indigenous people of this area, including but not limited to the Menominee, Ho-Chunk, Ojibwe, Potawatomi, and many other nations and groups that predate colonial borders. While this state institution has a rich history of its own, for countless generations, these lands were home to this diverse group of Native American people. Beginning with colonization and continuing for centuries, Native American people were forcibly removed from their home to unfamiliar and inhospitable lands. This brought sickness, trauma, and loss in many forms. Mass gravesite of indigenous people that are camped. Reference to the truth we acknowledge this story. We recognize the responsibility of the university to support Native people, communities, and worldviews who all might benefit from their teachings and heartfelt lessons. We also recognize that the generations of Native American communities, their cultures, and their knowledge systems shape the land in a sustainable way that allows us to continue to explore this gift today. For this, we are truly grateful. Together, we hope to find ways to move forward while acknowledging and respecting this history. Although words cannot convey the weight of injustices brought upon all Indigenous people in Turtle Island, proof of their resilience is brought into the light by the knowledge that they have been, are, and always will be a part of this institution for the long haul. Partnership with the Native American Center, we explore durable ways of recognizing, supporting, and advocating for the sovereignty of all tribal nations. We commit to work together to honor the past, be intentional in the present, and build our future with truth. That will lead us on to roll call. Speaker Perez. Here. Senator Healy. Here. Senator Zadrowski. Here. Senator Circle.
Here.
Senator Wojcik.
Here.
That sets quorum 5-0. Okay, and that will move us into the approval of the agenda. I will enter. First by Senator Zadrowski. Second.
Recording in progress.
Second by Speaker Perez. For any discussion? Speaker Perez?
I will move to amend the agenda to save the student body address to applicant.
Right, second. Second by Senator Zadrowski. Is there any discussion on that? All right, I'm not seeing, so that will move us into a roll call vote. Speaker Perez? Aye. Senator Healy? Aye. Senator Zadrowski? Aye. Senator Stokel?
Aye.
Senator Wojcik? Aye. All right, that passes 5-0. Right. Speaker Perez? Right. Second by Senator Healy. Is there any discussion on that? Right. I'm not seeing any, so I'm going to move into a roll call vote. Right. Sarah Ashley from the approvals. Speaker Perez? Aye. Senator Healy? Aye. Senator Zadrowski? Senator Stokel?
Aye.
Senator Wojcik?
Aye.
Right, that passes 5-0. So that will put us back to our original agenda. Speaker Perez?
I'm going to move to.
All right, do I have a second? Second by Senator Blake. Any further discussion on that? All right, I'm not seeing any, so that will move us into a roll call vote. Strike prior to none. Justice approval. Speaker Perez? Aye. Senator Healy? Aye. Senator Zadrowski? Aye. Senator Stokel?
Aye.
Senator Wojcik?
Aye.
All right, that passes 5-0. motion, the agenda. Is there any further discussion? Okay, I'm not seeing any, so I'll move into a voice vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? By the ear of the chair, that passes. That will move us into the approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion? First by Senator Neely, do I have a second? Second by Senator Szotel. Is there any discussion on that? Okay, I'm not seeing any, so that will move us into a voice vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? By the ear of the chair, that passes. That will move us into our student body address. President of the student body.
Good evening, everybody. Ms. Vice President, Ms. Speaker, members of the executive team, and the Senate. My name is Leo Angel Rivera Pacheco, and I am honored to serve as the current student body president. Once a year, the president of the student body is asked to provide the state of the student body address. Presidents have given this address in times of prosperity and others during times of uncertainty. In a normal course of events, the president would talk about their accomplishments and then set the agenda for the rest of their term. Instead, tonight, I want to talk about all we have been through in the past months and where we can go together as one point and one student body. It is no secret that these next few weeks and months have charted a path of uncertainty, full of hurdles for us as students to overcome. We anticipate the approval of the biannual budget, an effort that, if passed in full, would bring us to the median of public funding for higher education and provide support for all campuses across Wisconsin. This is a monumental moment for Wisconsin. If passed, elevating the quality of education, financial aid, our campus facilities, and most importantly, our academic and mental health resources. Our campus has been resilient and willing to help one another on many different levels. We've seen this in students who've supported and even mentored each other through academic challenges and personal struggles. We've seen it in our faculty who've gone above and beyond to adapt their teaching methods and provide the best possible education under these difficult circumstances. And we've seen it in our staff who work tirelessly to maintain and expand the resources for students so all of us can get the most out of our tuition dollars. Mental health remains a significant concern for many students. The pressures of academic life combined with external stressors such as political divisiveness and economic uncertainty have taken a toll on our well-being. It is essential that we continue to advocate for better mental health resources and support systems on campus, which is why this spring, SGA will be advocating not only for the budget, but an increased focus on providing funding for mental health resources within the UW system. We must ensure that every student has access to the help they need. Furthermore, recent actions taken by the federal government have raised concerns and fears among students. There are worries of federal agents coming on campus and removing students from their classrooms, dorms, and common spaces. This stress further mounts with changes to student loan policies and potential disruptions to federal financial aid programs, which, if continuously tampered with, could have a significant impact on our ability to afford and complete our education. The SGA is committed to keeping up to date with these developments to provide students with accurate information, as well as highlighting resources like our legal services to put students' minds at ease. We must also continue work to ensure that every student knows their rights when confronted with these obstacles to ensure that they take advantage of their civil liberties in these uncertain times. We will continue to fight for the policies that support students and make higher education accessible to all. Taking this address inward, I ask for the attention of those in this room today, sitting in the Senate floor, in the Assembly, and any viewers watching this at their home. When I was younger, I was raised a Christian, and one of the key takeaways I took from my time in the Kingdom Hall was the importance of leaving a place better than you found it, being mindful that someone will use and see to that space after you're gone. This is a principle I want you all to enter this semester with. SGA can create so much opportunity for our students. Most of what defines SGA is what we do to make their lives easier. Whether it's helping students register to vote, giving them a heads up on resources available to them, answering their questions about budgets, or even something small like keeping the doors open, like keeping the door open for the person right behind you. It is our job as representatives to leave this place in a better shape than we found it. My last piece of advice to the body before I conclude this speech is wake up to the position you are in right now. Now, more than ever, are you in a position to make an impact on this campus when it and the 7,300 students inside of it need you the most. The SGA serves as a voice of the student body, representing concerns and interests to administration. We are here to listen, to advocate, and to take action on behalf of all students. I encourage all of you to get involved, attend meetings, and use SGA as a platform to create those opportunities. Together, as one point, we can make a dent in the history of this university. Students of the university, even with all these challenges ahead of us, we will not stop fighting and pushing forward to be the best advocates that we can be. We are dedicated to helping you remember why you chose UW Stevens Point, and more importantly, why UW Stevens Point chose you. Thank you.
And that will move us on to our administrative update. And for that, we have William Starr, Vice Chancellor for University Advancement Spheres. I don't see him. So that will move us on to our special order speaker. And for that, we have Joseph Otto, Assistant to the Chancellor for Affirmative Action Title IX.
Good evening. I will be brief, I promise. My name is Joseph Fabiano. I'm the new assistant to the Chancellor for Action in Title IX here at USD. I've been here 1 month now at just the warmest time of the year, I'm sure. So I appreciate everyone's hospitality and encouragement last month that I've been here. In that short time, I've had an opportunity to meet a variety of different stakeholders on campus, to include faculty members, members of the provost team, staff members across campus, and a variety of disciplines, as well as students on campus. At the end of the day, that's who we're here to serve. I had an opportunity to meet in person with President Mara Checo last week, and I appreciate his time, and I appreciate the invitation to be here tonight. So just very briefly, I wanted to introduce myself, a little bit about me. I am a trained lawyer, specialized in civil rights investigations, experience as a Title IX coordinator, civil rights investigator, and most recently as your assistant chancellor, focused on affirmative action, opportunity, and a variety of civil rights compliance type laws. So happy to be engaged in that type of work. I want to just say a few things before I leave. I have an open door policy created on the first domain. Happy to have any member of this group, or frankly, any student, staff member, faculty member on campus, just stop by, talk about your concerns, talk about your ideas. That's why I extended an invitation to the president. That's why I accepted an invitation to be here tonight. I intend to maintain that open door policy, engage with whoever comes knocking, hear out your concerns, I will hear out your comments. In the meantime, I can tell you that while I am laser focused short term policies and best practices in the areas that are in my purview, also very focused on building a relationship between students and leaders on this campus that are responsible for civil rights laws, making sure that students have access access to education. So what does that look like? It looks like evaluating prevention efforts, whether it's prevention education, student's office, it's prevention education, resources. Also focused on research and climate type surveys and interactions and feedback. Those are some of the areas that I'm focusing on. So that's really all I have tonight. Just wanted to introduce myself. I appreciate the invitation. I'm sure folks have questions. Please reach out, stop by. In the interim, does anybody have any major questions?
First of all, I'm speaking I am President of Bureau.
Yeah, hi Joseph, thank you for coming today. I wanted to ask if you wanted to speak on a little bit of working group that we talked about.
Yeah, that's a great point. So there's a variety of different mechanisms that I'm considering right now to solicit some feedback from the student body in general, and a great way to do that is through elected student government. So whether it is open house situation where we maybe do quarterly open houses, monthly open houses, where any student has an opportunity to come in and talk about comments or concerns, share ideas, or whether it's a more of an informal working. I would like to see in that area, I would like to see some ideas from student government on what that working group might look like, what that alliance might look like, and how often we meet, how we share ideas. Is it something that this body establishes within student government, and I come out as a representative leadership, come out and come talk to you at some point, rather than leadership working, we invite you to come speak with us. I think putting it in your hands and letting you design some of that might be a good start for us, but hoping to have some more of these conversations.
Next one is Senator Strauss.
I was wondering if maybe that achievement research should focus that researching.
Yeah, that's a great question. So one way that we can address common concerns among students or incorporate ideas provided by students is through some form of research. So we've done those historically, externally system. What does that look like going system to provide an external climate survey to our students? Do we include faculty and staff, employees, or do we do an internal climate survey that is written by student government? So a lot of different opportunities to get surveys out to students. Things that I talked to the president about. I'm here to help. Here's your resource. I can't help you without it. So that's a great mechanism to get feedback from students and to all.
Senator Gomez.
I'm thinking about. I have no questions, but I would.
Yeah, so I would definitely work with the president to see what that looks like and where that survey is initiated, whether it's an external survey, a survey by leadership, by student government, or is it some foundation? I'll continue to work with him on that. I'm sure we'll also share our progress.
Are there any? I'm not. That will move us on to our common council update, and for that we have James Berry from curriculum.
I hope you can hear me relatively well.
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. Thank you. Because the Zoom audio was coming in a little garbled for me, so I just wanted to make sure. My name is James Berry. I am my pronouns are he, him. I am an associate professor in the Department of English. My area of specialty is linguistics. And I'm the chair of the curriculum committee for 2024-2025. And I've been asked by the chair of Common Council, Chair Roth, to come in and explain a little bit about what curriculum does and just let you know what goes on behind the doors. So curriculum is the committee in shared governance that focuses on changes and innovations in curriculum. So departments and other academic units across campus put together proposals for either new courses and new programs or revisions to courses and programs. Those proposals are then sent to me as chair of curriculum. The proposals are then vetted by me, by a representative from the registrar's office, and by the catalog editor, looking to make sure that they are in good shape and that they will be appropriate for the needs of the university. They then go to our agenda, and I create the agenda, putting together the proposals and any supporting documentation that has come from the units. And our meetings are the first and third Tuesday of every month. So we did not have a meeting this past week, but we will have a meeting on February 18th. That will be our first one. So those meetings, usually at this time of the semester, are fairly brief, fairly small number of proposals, but there are deadlines each semester for all the units to submit any proposals that they want to make the catalog for a year from now, a calendar year from now. So for proposals to meet the need to reach the catalog for spring of 2026, they will need to be submitted by Friday of the 9th week of the semester. As you might guess, as we approach Friday of the 9th week of the semester, we get a lot more submissions. So we start off kind of quietly, and then we grow. Those agendas that I put together right around that period of time often are 300 to 400 pages long with a whole lot of material that people have to kind of comb through. But they are really important, and then the committee then votes on each of the proposals. We hear from the units, the academic units that are submitting these, and then we take each one to a vote, and then those results are sent on to Common Council as information items. So our committee is basically the final step, the decision-making step, and then they go on to Common Council for information, and if there are any questions or concerns, of course, those can be brought up in the broader Common Council meeting. So that's pretty much the way that it works. We have 2 new members from SGA this spring, so I'm looking forward to meeting Hayden Arnoldi and Elisa Jong. And that's pretty much what I have.
Are there any questions? Okay, I'm not seeing any, so thank you. That will move us on to our Dean of Students update, and for that we have Dean of Students Troy Seppel.
Hello, dear friends and colleagues. Nice to see you as always. Troy, Dean and his Assistant Vice Chancellor, and your Dean of Students. My 3.5 things-ish. Just a quick update. Last week I showed you the Safe Points map continue to move forward on those things. Some of the items from last week, yes, there is an item connected to the app for your Apple Watch. That does exist. It does not exist for Google or other types of smartwatch devices, but yes, Apple Watch does exist as a connection point. I met with our dear friend Joe, our Title IX human, to show the Title IX things that I'm constructing on that. I met with the entire University Center's directors and the campus executives for our branch campuses for their portions in the website and a little bit about construction. I think last week I might have mentioned the idea of different buttons for each campus. Our branch campus friends don't want that, actually, because there is such overlap in students. We have their students coming here, our students going there, attending classes. They felt it would be more functional, simply include the unique information in the right places inside the app as we're building it. So we're going to take their advice, of course, because they know their campus is best. And then we are, I'm still working on the resources and response items I pointed out last week. And then, if possible, I'm not sure if you have a request for special or speaker land next week, but I would love to ask now to have just that larger block of time to again revisit where we are next week, this time next week, to go through some of those app items. As I mentioned to the speaker in my note last week, we're building this for students, which means you need to tell me things about its functionality, about its whatever, right? Does it make sense for you as a student, the way we are building it, the words that I am choosing to use or we are choosing to use in various spaces? And then, of course, once it does go live, we'll, of course, continue to take feedback and make adjustments as necessary. But because I'm doing a lot of the building, and I know all of you, I would love your feedback in some way. So that would be amazing if possible for next week. You literally can fold my time together, this report and spend for the speaker time, so I don't screw up the schedule too much. Number 2 on my list, our dear president in their remarks mentioned student legal services available to students. I mentioned this once already. I believe the president emailed the entire student body that same night, ish. He drafted an email next week. You also saw a student, if you open the student message of the day on at some point Monday, and then another one today that points out 3 legal services for students. One is the SGA funded attorney. Her name is Kitty. She is amazing. She is local here in Stevens Point. She does her meetings via Zoom, but can meet with you or any student to ask questions, get advice, help draft a letter with an attorney's eye. All of that is real. And Law for Learners exists for all students in the UW system. And it includes the list of all the things you can imagine an attorney providing advice about. So landlords, tickets and crime, immigration questions, name changes, you name it, like the whole list. And in the note that went out today, in the student message of the day, there were 2 attachments. One provided a bit of a list of those things, and the other attachment was for students whose legal concern might be in a border state. Law for Learners helps students with legal issues in Wisconsin, but Minnesota, Michigan, Illinois, Iowa, they have their own legal support services that you can tap into, and that attachment listed services in those neighbor states to us. So we're trying to support all of our students and where they come from in getting legal advice. So, and when in doubt, go to the Dean of Students webpage. Front page is a large button that says Student Legal Services. It'll help you connect another student or yourself to both of those options. Okay. Number 3 on the list. Okay, so I, for 10 years now, have helped student government manage SGA returning student scholarships. I mentioned this last semester. We have transitioned to a new scholarship platform So students, returning students, were able to apply in a new way, which is great. Made it incredibly accessible and incredibly visible. By doing so, dear student government, you have received 2,188 applications for your 32 scholarships. 2188, if my math is moderately correct. 689 applied for the Academic Merit Scholarship, 106 for the Inclusive Excellence Scholarship, and just shy of 1,400 for the Service and Involvement Scholarship from student government for returning students. That's lovely. However, that also means that student government or other students appointed by student government need to form a committee and evaluate 2,188 applications for your 32 scholarships. I keep repeating it because, yes, it's large. That's a lot. I'm not asking for names tonight, so please let's not go there. However, this is a function of student government. I met with the scholarship human today about how to do it, how to add students into the platform so you can review applications in a way where student applicants' names are not visible, right? So we're not trying to get away from introducing bias in the process. But that's going to be a lot of work. In the past, we've had 3 humans do that evaluation, but that's when we had record numbers of like 400, not 2,000. So I'm just saying it out loud to all of you this fine evening, because at some point we need to, student government needs to evaluate the applications so we can award the money that you set aside for returning student scholarships to students. I know, it's a lot. If you have questions, send me a note. I will provide you, leadership friends and colleagues, with information. The absolute end date for all of the evaluation stuff being done is April 1st. It of course means we have to get it done before that. So, you know what you need. Here to support and serve. You're going to find 3 humans who have absolutely nothing in their lives to do and work on evaluating applications. My point 5 item is, because, like for many of you, it has been a bit of a week for yours truly. My intent is to stay through all of these. Which is a little unusual, it is not my intent to spend all of this evening with all of you, dear friends. You are as disappointed as I am, I'm sure, but I'm going to take a little break and go home a little early this evening because the week is rather fast. Those are my 3.5 things, my friends.
Are there any questions? Okay, I'm not seeing.
Thank you.
That will move us into our University Centers update, and Stephanie has Director of University Centers Convergence.
Hello everyone, it's Burgess, Director of University Center Sheep Workers. Just have a shorter for you all this week. I have good news. The Spin app, the UWSP branded Spin app, is now available in the app stores for Android and iOS. So we encourage you to download that and take advantage of the Spin features that way. Dan Abbott has been working hard on subsidy presentations for the club sports and student sports, and those will be done on Monday. Part-time job fair this week had an estimated 30 or so employers and around 80 participants. Climbing wall memberships. So some of you may know that the climbing wall, you as a student can pay a little extra as a membership, as a climbing wall member, and then be able to go extra nights per week. Our climbing wall memberships are up this semester. They've already hit last fall numbers in the first week. So that's good news. Brings in a little more revenue, allows us to do some private law. I'm sure it will be in Katie's report, but the Textile Committee had their first meeting this week. And it is a busy week for external events in the DUC. So Student Point is tomorrow, and then it's Students' Day on Saturday. And the Optimist Club Freshman Formal that hosts here is hosted annually in the building this next weekend. So just a few student events of note. Quitting time tomorrow night from 5 to 7 in the Brew House. The movie We Live in Time is tomorrow night at 6 and at 9 in the DUC Theater. Saturday, Sustainable Saturday, which is working with the closet in Nelson Hall to help do a cleanup. Tuesday night, Brew House has trivia at 6:30, and Wednesday night at 8 p.m. it's family. And then Thursday the 13th, so during this meeting, so motivation to show early and go over to Valen Climb after climbing along next Thursday night. Questions for me at all? And one last request, sorry. At least 3 times this week, we've run into scheduling issues related to lots of SGA meetings in the building. So my request to all of you is, as you are scheduling meetings, 1, if you have any issues with scheduling, please come up to our office. It's located on the 3rd floor. You pass it on your way here. We believe we've gotten the website issues tackled, but if you have any issues, that's where we live, and you can ask for help. Or you can send an email to Conference of Event Services, and they can help you that way as well. Number 2 is please double check your confirmation to make sure that when you think you have the room is when you actually have the room reserved. Because occasionally we make mistakes, and occasionally you make mistakes, and it helps us not to have people in the same room at the same time, and or just simply having the room open and ready for you. We do have a process to accommodate same-day meeting requests when that happens, but just a request on behalf of my team and the centers to help us all get scheduling done smoother. Now,
are there any questions? I'm not seeing, so thank you. That will move us into our student governance update, and that we have Riley, President of RHA.
Hello, my name is Jordan Riley. My pronouns are first, and this is RHA. Last couple weeks, I was sick last week. We are still working on the menstrual products calls. We've gotten the contact links. We've reached out to them, and we're still kind of talking back and forth with custodial and facilities to make sure that it would be possible in their eyes stop needs, and then after that we're going to take our next steps where we will for all these machines, because it's multiple thousands of dollars as anything for every residence hall and so many bathrooms, but it's looking good so far. I also am continuing to talk with Catherine Bello from Sustainability, from Nomo May, and for B Campus USA. We are kind of getting it more shaped down that because it got approved to be at every hall, but for vision and at one hall there will be some sort of competition and the winning hall will get to on their space and that's really exciting to think about and coming up sooner than and then RHA is also going to be at Admitted Students Day this week, and as a precedent, excited to see all kinds of all the student organizations. We are also starting to work on hall directors, so that's really exciting. The time family. And finally, we have some events coming up in Freeze Fest, including Brett Willett, Sports Bingo, and Casino Night. And regarding Casino Night, RJ wants to ask anyone at SGA in the body if they would like to volunteer to help. So, in the past, there hasn't been a Casino Night last year, but the year before that and before that. volunteering as blackjack dealer, roulette, overseer, dice games. So we also need so many volunteers. It's such a big event. It's also part of 20s After Dark. So SGA has a little bit of stake in it as well. And we are still looking for so many. So who would like to volunteer? Or
I did send out that volunteer sign up link to everyone, so should be.
perfect. Even if you're in so if you'd like to sign up, that's perfect. It's a point after event, so it is a little bit at 9-11, but it's fun. And yeah. First of all, my speakers, I just wanted to ask you.
Hey Jordan, I was wondering. Stopping the RHA.
So we're kind of just and I was very unaware of what RJ's role, but we had that meeting, and RJ is more of a promotion and helping get more outreach to students. And B campus has a little bit smaller outreach for a smaller organization. So we were there to kind of advertise it for them and help them ideas. I also asked the same thing, but they are very set on having one hall be the winner. But I'm also really approved at every site. Why you only do one? But I also do know that last week they were trying to get normal May at every hall, and it did not get approved by facilities because of that potential. More. Questions? Okay, I'm not seeing something. That will move us into diversity organization updates. Are there any organizations who'd like to provide an update? Okay, I'm not seeing any, so that will move us into student organization updates. Are there any student organizations that would like to provide an update? Okay, I am not seeing any, so that will move us into our public forum for non-agenda items. Would anyone like to utilize this time? Okay, I'm not seeing any, so that moves into the rules. And first, I have student interest representative, Aaron. Okay. Please, first, how do you say your name, pronouns, and why do you like to?
Okay. Hello, I'm Aaron Idol. Pronouns he, him. Yeah, brand new to campus, just transferred here from Wisconsin 3 weeks ago. I'm technically a sophomore in my 4th semester of college. Yeah, I met at orientation, talked with president and vice president about another environmental branch you guys kind of have going on, and kind of a big passion of mine now is conservation. Yeah, just making a difference in any way I can. And yeah, just forcing myself to get out there and do something new as well.
First of all, I'm Senator Strowski.
Hey Aaron, I was wondering what.
Well, I've worked a lot of labor jobs and customer service jobs for the last 10 plus years. And as much as I love putting that smile on and serving customers, I'd much rather serve the environment. Do my part. My dream job would be working with reintroduction efforts in Wisconsin. Not only my main passion lies in the Elk Creek, Wisconsin, such like that, but ideally work on upping our food population, upping our
Chairman. I was wondering where you, sorry. Can you also tell us a little bit about it?
Well, yeah, sure. I'm 28 years old, non-traditional student for sure. school, right out of high school for HVAC. Really wasn't my cup of tea at the time. Just been working in the workforce ever since, and yeah, kind of had an awakening a couple years ago to go back to college and kind of pursue conservation. I enjoy really anything outdoor, camping, hiking. I spent this last summer traveling Montana and Wyoming, national parks, camping out of a van. I really have a passion for, I would say, just the environment in general, and kind of passion of undoing mistakes I've made. Campus, well, I've heard about like pollinator garden. That was kind of implemented a year ago, and I'd love to expand more on that. And just like trash care, maybe setting up some cleanups, like a Saturday spring. Pollinator garden.
Are there any further questions? Speaker press? Do I have a second? Second by Senator Glick. Is there any discussion on that? Okay, I am not seeing any, so that moves into a ballot vote. Head Justice Yagel will be around to pick up those ballots. Thank you. That was Jacob Dorn, the Health Affairs Director.
All right, I am not Jacob Dorn. It is President Rivera Pacheco here to introduce Jacob Dorn. Jacob is a junior. He is also a student athlete studying sociology. I think that he shows a great skill set that would be of a benefit to student government. And when I did his interview, he seemed very interested in the position and working with the mental health resources we have on campus to see how they can better serve students. So without further ado, Jacob Dorn.
State your name, pronouns, and why you chose the position.
Hello everyone, my name is Jacob Dorn. My pronouns are he, him. What led me to land this position is my background in psychology and sociology as well as teaching. I've had this passion for this career field and honestly this entire field of psychology and sociology for I'd say probably 6-7 years now. And when I learned that this position was open and that I would be working there with mental health along with other areas of health, I felt like I needed to jump on this opportunity. I mean, that's pretty much it. I would just like to say I'm very thankful and honored for this opportunity to be standing up in front of you and hopefully get this position. I would love to hear any sort of questions and comments you guys have.
First of all, my speaker list, I am Senator Zadrowski.
Hi, I was wondering if SGA bylaws and no, I have not had a chance yet, but that was something that did notice me, and that is something.
Next on my speaker list, I have Senator Healy.
I was wondering if you had any initiatives right off the bat, if there was anything on campus that are in furthering or maybe.
Yes, actually, I have 2 initiatives that I would like. One of them is I would like to monthly to hold some sort of event or social gathering, showcase what health services has, kind of get like feedback, see how ways for them, and just sort of make it so that everybody knows what's available to them. And then I also have another initiative where I like to sports psychology, because I recognize that as my background student athlete, we also have help that we also need to go that's not similar to most of the other student bodies campus, and I feel this is much better.
Speaker press?
I'll move to approve.
Second? Second by Senator Glick. Is there any discussion on that? Okay, I'm not seeing any, so that will move us into a ballot vote. And Justice Yagel will be around to pick up those ballots. Thank you.
Thank you.
studying poli-sci and international studies. I think that her experience in the classroom is very pertinent to her job as inclusivity director, since there is a lot of there's a lot of work and collaboration that's done between different entities, the resource centers, administration, DCA, the people in the Student Success Center. So I think she is perfect position. But without further ado, Kara Zanin.
Hi. Oh my gosh, sorry. I'm a little sick, so if I sound bad, don't worry about it. My name is Kara Zanin. My pronouns are she, her, hers. The biggest reason that I'm looking one, I have been working in this position for about 2 weeks now, and I am continuing to enjoy it. Also, as Leo said, I'm a double major in poli-sci and international studies. Pretty much what I study on a daily basis is culture and how that culture basically works with and against the systems we have in politics, in legislation, everything. One of my passions, especially in school, is law and legal studies. So when it comes to SGA specifically, just to answer some preemptive questions, some initiatives that I'm looking at are specifically for LGBTQ plus students, immigrant students, women on campus, any minority that I know are automatically underrepresented. That's the biggest initiative.
First up on my speakers, I have Senator Sikorsky.
Hello, Mrs. Zarin. I was wondering, side of what they say about the state.
Yeah, so I think UWSP specifically, I have also attended mid-state when I was in high school. I think UWSP specifically has a good focus and a determined focus on inclusivity. I met with Dr. Sam today, director of DCA, and the passion that I think our administrators hold for representing students is unlike what I've seen. And I would say, to answer your question, I would say although we have a lot of things that we need to work through and a lot of challenges, as our president addressed earlier today, I think we do have administrators who are willing to fight for our students, and I think the biggest thing is the students need to bring those concerns and fully addressed.
Next up on my speakers, I have President Pacheco.
My question is, are you a paperclip or a staple?
So I've been practicing for this question because I knew it was going to happen. I'm definitely a paperclip. I do not like the idea of permanence, and staplers are definitely permanent. So I'm a paperclip. That's all.
Next up on my speakers, I have Director Morchester.
Hello, Zanin. For all those who don't know, I've had the privilege to work with Zanin for these last 2 weeks, as long as being in several classes with her throughout my years here at Stevens Point. And I'm going to extend a recommendation for her. I think that I have no reason to believe that she does nothing other than represent the student body, what it needs, to the best of her ability every single day. And I have no reason to believe that would cease. So I would recommend proving set.
Speaker press. Second, or second by Senator. Are there any? Oh, okay. Okay, so that will move us into discussion. Is there any discussion on that? Further comments about the achievements discussion? I'm not seeing any, so that will move it to ballot vote. Head Justice Young. Ballot. And that will move back to the
I'm Jared Ellis. My pronouns are. I'd like to sit on. I have a lot of experience with as a person from the East Coast. I have a strong perspective, backgrounds that I'd like to give a voice, especially students here. I talk a lot to see the issues that they have, and to give them a voice too. So.
First up on my speaking list, I have budget director.
Excuse me. Viewpoint neutrality. I'd say I don't know the specific term for it, but using context clues, I would assume that viewpoint neutrality is finding the best solution based on perspective, finding an agreement that everybody to taking in factors of beliefs are, ethics are, just finding the best solution. I would speak to several different parts around it, just to see what we're looking at, just to see like where I could chart it down, what I could write down, so just to add up the math, what agreement that we want to, or what's something that we will focus on.
Next up on my speaking, I have Senator Strowski.
I was first wondering if prior to this meeting, SGA bylaws and description.
Yes, I haven't been able to go through the thing, but I got through. I haven't yet. So I have to do something. I finished it.
Just wondering what
feedback to me, like, it's being able to make sure that the students and faculty can all rest in, or together come to the best feedback to me is about being able to give everyone a voice, bring everybody to best solutions, and consider everybody's perspective, just to see what type of decisions and plays that we make together, see what choices that we use to advance together.
Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome to have someone to your perspective. So why did you decide to apply for UCB?
So I did consider both. That was actually the other one I was considering. But I think I feel like I can come up with a lot of great ideas for SUPAC as well, discussing to see what kind of to providing my experience and perspective on what I have taught.
Next up on my speaking list, I have Director Ariano.
Okay. Question here. How does it feel involved on campus? So I'm a member of the Multicultural Resource Center, the Black Student Union, and the Latino Student Alliance, and I talk to a lot of different people in these groups, and I just noticed the issues that they have. They sometimes come to me, tell me what issues that they have, and like I want to be able to give them that comfort based on the problems that I know that my kids have, and having that inside perspective of what type of like roadblocks that they run into, and being able to be involved in all these different types of groups and activities or events that are, I feel like this position would be able to help me help that help and help.
Next, I want to speak as right. Senator.
Sorry, I don't know exactly what. So if like it's out of context, let me know. But it sounds like maybe your interest and your passion lie more with being a senator rather than that. Is that the position you are applying?
Yes.
Okay.
There was some confusion, but I would be considered senator.
Senator Zabrowski?
Yeah, I add on to what she said. I think like a very valuable perspective. SUFAC is not what you said. It is, and people who are knowledgeable on bylaws and the position, something that is super duper. So I think major voice here elsewhere.
Are there any questions? I will entertain second. Second by Senator Hood. Is there any further discussion? And just Ms. Younger?
I just want all of you to be aware of applying for SUFAC, you're voting where? Okay?
Is there any further discussion? Director Brown? I just want to is there any further discussion? I'm not seeing any, so that will move the ballot vote. So I hope you're on the ballot. Thank you. Bias Hassler, for SUFAC. State your name, pronouns, and why you like to be a part of the group.
Hi, I'm Tobias. I use all pronouns. As I've said in the past, get funky with it. I'm applying for SUFAC because I've served on SUFAC as a proxy last year. I'm familiar with the process and the necessity of SUFAC, and I'm aware of its extreme necessity in determining what is allocated towards student organizations and organizations on campus, as well as university centers and things like Schmincke Reserve. So I wanted to do my part to make sure that process goes as smoothly as possible.
First of all, my business as Senator Zabrowski.
I first off like to speak on
that has to happen in discussion. Right now we're in questions.
My bad.
Here.
I was wondering what you think.
I think I'm going to bring a logical approach to SUFAC. I, even in my own personal matters, use pros and cons lists to weigh out sacrifices that need to be made, and I'm not afraid to make hard cuts where they need to happen.
We're going to end this first. So next would be a budget director.
Viewpoint neutrality is the ability to weigh things with logic over emotion. So being able to see the difference in making decisions close to heart rather than a decision that is necessary for your brain. I will second guess every decision that I make to the point that it becomes a problem because it is absolutely necessary to make sure that you do things with excessive thought.
Are there any questions? Speaker Press? First by Speaker Perez, second by Senator Zdrowski. Is there any discussion? Senator Zdrowski?
But on Mr. Hazelwood's behalf, over the last 2 years, I've had a variety of extremely neutral and frustrating discussions with friends.
Thank you, Graham.
Is there any further discussion? Oh, question for $3. Discussion. I'm not seeing, so I'm just into the ballot vote. I just show you from ballots. Thank you. Jacob, congratulations, you've been approved. That will move us on to the polls for 2 senators. First up, we have Chase and Manny. Please approach the podium, state your name, pronouns, and why you'd like to be a senator.
Hi everybody, I'm not Chase Manny. I'm legislative director here in Rowley, but I would like to speak on Chase Manny's behalf and introduce him to everybody. So I met Chase through Bible studies last semester, and after that I found out he works at Lord Paul, and every time I see him there, he's always friendly. A couple things I want to say about Chase. Number one, he's very intelligent, smart guy. Besides that, he's a very hard worker, and on top of this, I've talked to a lot of senators. I've tried to convince a lot of people to join Senate to fill up my legislative affairs committee. And out of all the people I've talked to, I don't think anybody else has had the amount of initiatives and ideas that Chase has. So you could say he has many ideas. That's a bad one. The last thing I want to say about Chase is that if he was coaching the Green Bay Packers, we'd be watching them on Sunday. Yeah, I just want to say he's a great guy and a guy I feel comfortable putting my name on. Without further ado, here's Chase Manny.
I was born and raised in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Something about me is I was born with a disability. I suffer cerebral palsy and dystonia. So my handshake, and I take that view into a lot of things I do. I know how people feel from the lowest to the highest. I try to succeed everything I do, and my future goal is to make a nonprofit to help raise money for disabilities.
First up on my screen is Senator Zdrowski.
Luke Chase, I was wondering if you'd like to share a couple of your ideas you have. For what? For on campus. Just ideas.
One of my biggest things I would like to implement is plastic straws in all the food centers, because for me, not being able to drink up normally, I spell myself a lot, and I feel like we should have something in place where I can at least have a straw there so I can drink my Starbucks or whatever I like.
Questions? Speaker Press?
This is, you have a word. What are some things that you're passionate about?
I love the Green Bay Packers. Being born and raised in Green Bay, I used to work for the Packers. I love video games. I just like hanging out with people and talking to people. And these guys over here have made me passionate about Jesus and going to Bible study and the Lord
Next one is speaking is by Senator Zadrowski.
What's your favorite? Right now, I'm going to play Marvel Rivals nonstop.
Are there any other questions? Okay, I'm not seeing any, so that will, so I will entertain a motion to approve. Speaker Perez? Right. Second by Senator Keeling. Is there any discussion on that? Speaker Perez?
Okay. I wanted to that as well. Katie kind of stole what I wanted to say. I go to Lower DeVoe every single Monday and Tuesday. I often see Chase working on Mondays that I go. I talk to him the most when I try to get my order. He's very
Any further discussion? Okay. I am not seeing any, so that will move us into a ballot vote. Head Justice Yarborough will be around to pick up those ballots. Thank you. And the vote for Jared Ellis for SUPAC was a tie, which means for the bylaws, it is my job as chair to break it, and that did not pass. All right, that will move us on to the approval of Andy Bergen for senator. State your name, pronoun, I guess be senator.
What a time to bring me on right after someone failed. Thank you. Anyway, no, I don't hold that against you. I'm Andy Bergen. I use he pronouns, but you can call me whatever you want. I've always been interested in government, and that applies to student government as well. Last year, I was the student body president at the Wausau campus, and I transitioned, I think is the technical word, to this campus, and I wanted to continue my career, I suppose, in government here. So I have for that.
First of all, my speaker is by Senator Zadrowski.
Chairman.
Okay.
First off, I was wondering the running.
So I bring the that's a tough one. I will say that I am from a two-year university, so I bring the ideas and relationships from a two-year university with me. So I mean, one of my biggest priorities is having good relationships with the Marshfield and the Wausau campuses because they are UW Stevens Point after all. Yeah, does that answer your question?
Sort of. So bringing two-year policies with that.
I'm not sure yet. I don't think there's really policies we can do. Like they have their own student government. I just like to have open door, have open communications, what they can work with. I'm still kind of learning what exactly this student government can do. Like we can't set tuition, as far as I know. So I'm trying to figure out where the bounds are, what exactly do resolutions, but what more of that.
Director Ariana.
Yeah, Chair Nick.
Okay.
So, what are your views as you
honestly, it was I did a lot there. Sorry, that's not really bad for me. I love chairing meetings over there. I love parliamentary procedure, and I can tell that this body uses parliamentary procedure a lot. So I feel that I will really enjoy that. But also connecting with the students. As my role as president over there, I hosted at least one event to get to know the student body, and I don't think it would be very successful over here because of the size difference. But so listening to my constituents is something I definitely learned and did well, and I enjoyed over here.
Okay. And the second question is, your experience SGA, how many titles?
What question? So parliamentary procedure is of course important. I plan to use that well. And I have an open door policy as well. So any of my direct constituents as well as any of the student body and really anyone associated with the university is always welcome to reach out to me in whatever ways of communication I provide, at least my. And that's my biggest thing. Whatever if for some reason someone does reach out to me, I hope they do. But if that does happen, I will fight on that person's behalf to get something done. And if I can't personally get something done, I'll find someone.
Next one on speakers, I have Speaker Perez. You may.
First one actually comes from have you taken a look at the SGA as you taking a look at the SGA
I have not taken a look at all of the SGA committees we have. I am a little interested in SUPAC, but I would want to look at the other committees before I decide which one.
One actually comes from myself personally. You seem like a very driven government, so when I see something like that, I kind of ask myself, what made them want to get into it? Want to get into the world of government?
I have always had a passion for government. Ever since I can remember, I wanted to learn about government. First at the United States level, and I learned there was state government, and of course, when I came to university, my minds were in student government. And of course, I did campus, and I want to continue here. I love all of this that's happening. I like advocating for students. I like procedure, as I've said times now, and I like all of the structure of all of this.
Next up on the speaking list, I have Budget Director.
No, I've been asked this before, and my answer is binder clip, if that is an answer. But if I had to choose between staple and what was the other one? Paperclip. I would go paperclip because I don't like permanents. I know someone already said that, but that is the true reason. It serves its purpose of nailing things down figuratively, but also can be removed easily if necessary.
Are there any further questions? Speaker Press? I have a second by Senator. Is there any discussion on that? Okay, I am not seeing, so I'll move us into the ballot vote. I'll just shuffle from ballots. Thank you. For SUPAC advice, congratulations, you are approved. And Senator Chase, congratulations, you are also approved. That will move us into the approval for Senators of Sophia Amador. Is that right? Okay, awesome. Please approach the podium, state your name, pronoun, and why you'd like to be senator.
Hi everybody, my name is Sophia Amador. I'm and I'm majoring in science. Also, physics easy. I have my notes on my phone, so if you see me staring at my phone, that's why. Being able to major in political science allows me to gain knowledge on policies and how just politics and working together. That's learning about that stuff in class is also partially why I wanted to join SGA. To be able to evaluate what students need and what they want. And establish policies through that in order to benefit the school and the student body is really important. And I think being involved in that would be. And I also just wanted to join something. I've never done anything SGA or I don't know, really with politics recently. So I'd like to join and I'd really like to learn about it. And I just think it's something.
First of all, my speaker was Senator Zurowski.
What do you think is the most effective way to really spread their idea?
I just think. Sorry, people.
What's the most effective way for political body to spread their share?
To spread their idea, I think probably the most efficient way is to talk firsthand to in order to understand, to help them understand your perspective, but you also have to take a different approach and understand that these people, if you have an idea that you're trying to spread and a person might not agree on that, that's okay, but you should be able to have a civilized discussion about that and understand that you're not gonna like get everyone on your side, but it's still possible.
And sorry. I was wondering.
Oh yeah, so I always get nervous when people ask like, but I'm from Sheboygan, Wisconsin, so that's about 2 states, right above Milwaukee. And I think that, like, just thinking about, like, where my interest in politics comes from is mostly from my family. Like, there's a part of my family that doesn't care about it at all, and then there's my mom who's, like, super, super on it, and I feel like getting able to, knowing both perspectives is very interesting. Because I feel like the perspective that isn't as involved, it's more like they haven't made the time to understand it, and I feel like politics, that's how it is most of the time, so that's what I also, more stuff about me, just personally, I really like going to the gym, I love cats, and I'll have to take a lot less now. Speaker press? You may. Oh, first is just small. Say, she asked previous speakers, have you taken a look at the needs that SGA has, and are you interested in that? I have taken a look at I was interested in what I see they talk about things such as lobbying, get out to vote initiative, and to me that was pretty interesting, but I haven't made like a decision yet, but I'm so. Are there any further questions? I'm not seeing, so I will entertain. Speaker Perez? First by Senator Neely, is there a second? Second by Speaker Perez. Is there any discussion? First up, on my speaking list, I have President Rivera Pacheco.
Yeah, I just wanted to speak to Sophia's credit. Her freshman year, she was working for Lit, and she seems very involved. Also, I've had a lot of classes with her. She's been very engaged. So I think she is perfect to have at this time.
Any further discussion? I'm not seeing any, so I will listen to ballot vote and start moving around the ballot. Senator Manny, would you like to be added to quorum?
Yes.
All right, that reads that quorum 6-0. That will leave us from Senator Tobias Pasla. And post the podium, your name pronounced and might like to be senator.
Hello, everybody. I am not Tobias Gassler. This BK, I've known Tobias for a solid half an hour at this point. But in my brief period with Big Gassler here, I believe that they have demonstrated a fantastic ability to not only make me smile, but to install my confidence in the world. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Nick Schatzler.
Hey, I'm back. I use all pronouns. Okay. I would like to be a senator because, firstly, I've been a senator in the past, and my experience it is something that I really enjoyed. I have a huge passion for increasing the inclusivity on campus, especially the accessibility, because it's close to my heart as a physically and mentally disabled person. So to jump the gun on the questions on what committee I'm looking at, primarily inclusivity committee. Also partially considering student health affairs committee, depending on if we have that up and running. In terms of what things I would like to implement, I'm looking to get more transparency from facilities and the DRC as to what they're doing in terms of accessibility on campus, mostly because it's incredibly difficult right now to find out what things are going on, like elevators are down, and snow plowing can't be done properly, why there's no button on the new accessible ramp to the science building, etc. I think that about it. Diagram. Cool. So I was born in Oklahoma and raised between Oklahoma and Texas. I moved to Green Bay in 2018 and have lived there since. I commute back and forth on the weekends, so I'll be joining SUFAC on Zoom. I have a cat named Bubbles. She's a sweetheart and my emotional support animal. If you're curious about the disability, I'm working on getting diagnosed with POTS, which is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, which effectively means my heart rate jumps up to 120 to 140 when I stand up, and makes me kind of dizzy, and my muscles don't work as good as they should because of it. I'm married as of May. And I also have 2 girlfriends because I'm polyamorous, and I take care of my younger sister at home who just turned 18 this August.
Are there any other questions? Speaker Perez? Second by Senator Flick. Is there any discussion on that? Okay, I'm not seeing any, so that moves us on to a ballot vote. And Mr. Star will be around to pick up those ballots. Thank you. So for Senator and you, that failed, so you were not approved. For Senator Sophia Rusi, congratulations, you were approved. Okay, that will move us approval for associate justice, and first up we have Howard Bowman. Please state your name, pronouns, and why you'd like to be a justice.
Hello, everybody. Paula Gomez. I'm from Third Director. I would have to say that I probably don't be suitable for this position. Those qualities being fairness and analytical. As you may know, in this time, mutual before understanding of around the world and around us in our community, and that is a skill that I have learned in the past few years. When I was writing my little spiel, I also wanted to add the quote that says, seek to understand and to be understood. And while that's not completely what being associate is about, I wanted to point out that understanding is something that has always been a part of my everyday life. And so I think that's what I have.
Comments by Senator Zabrowski.
So,
let's see. I'm a junior. I'm biology. I love to crochet, and I also have passion for environment. And while that's not the career I choose to go into, it's life. Kind of been a lot of my that, and so yeah, I've been part of this for last semester, and I all of you guys, actually, yeah, I am.
sure, ma'am. How are you in your shirt body?
Like I said, for this past semester at SGA, I think I have been able to witness a lot of processes that are being held in his body, and with that, how people approach those situations, and that, and also, training here for Greenland, I've also learned how to train people and put my ethics and thoughts aside and about what body stands for, which at the end of the day is our students and that's for our study.
Next one was speaking I speaker Perez.
Being a social justice means rising up to the call whenever there's a case in our body and kind of taking the case, seeing both sides of the situation and obviously.
Are there any further questions? I'm not seeing, so I want to approve. Senator Hewitt. Right, do I have a second? Second by Senator Zagrowski. Is there any discussion on that? I'm not seeing, so I'll move this to the ballot vote. Head Justice Jogger will be around to pick up those ballots. Thank you. Associate Justice for Felisa Jean, say your name, pronouns, and why you'd like to sit, or why you'd like to be an Associate Justice.
Hi, excuse me. My name is Felisa Jean, and my pronouns are she, they. And I kind of have a hefty list of why I believe I should be, but I just very fast. Alright, so I believe that I should become an assistant justice because I have been very heavily involved in a lot of leadership positions, leadership experiences that need important decision-making skills and logical and critical skills. And I think I have thoughtful decision-making skills. I am the president of Women in Business, I don't know if you guys know, and I believe I demonstrate the ability to handle conflicts calmly and regulate my emotions well. So I believe that I will not let my personal feelings interfere with becoming an associate justice and with making decisions. And like how Director Gomez has said, I've also been a part of student government for the past semester and a half now. So I am very accustomed to the policies, to the procedures here in student government. So I know how these policies would affect students, and I would be able to interpret them in a way that aligns with their intent while ensuring fairness. And then also, I also just personally value inclusivity and fairness when it comes to my friends, when it comes to close ones, when it comes to myself and people that I meet. So I believe I would be able to take all perspectives into account without bias. I believe I can listen to different viewpoints and also be able to make balanced and well-reasoned decisions in ensuring fairness when it comes to judicial matters. And then also, like I said, I have held leadership roles. So I am president of Women in Business, and I have done event planning. I'm currently in an internship that requires a lot of decision making when it comes to making events, when it comes to reaching out to professionals, when it comes to doing a lot of logistics. And that requires effective communication, and that requires analytical decision making. So I believe that I have the skills and experience to become an associate justice. Excuse me.
First one on my speaking list, I speaker Perez. Okay.
Both of these come from. My first question is one that I already answered. What does the word justice mean?
I believe it means to uphold fairness and integrity. As a justice, you're making sure you're applying the rules consistently while you have an impact on students. So I believe that it means to remain objective and fair in making decisions when it comes to a case, when it comes to making a difficult decision.
Second one. any projects and outside of SGA, how do you deal with knowledge and work with that right now?
I am already psychotically organized. So I believe that adding this would not put pressure and burden onto me. This semester, after being able to understand how my first semester has gone, I've been able to really hone in on my time management system and the way that I manage and handle tasks. So I believe that I will have the time and the commitment to be able to become a successful and supportive associate justice.
Thank you. Okay, next one I'm speaking is our Senator Zabrowski.
I was tell us a little bit about support judicial corrections decision on how that's affected the bylaws of our
Chair, is that okay to speak on that? Sorry.
Does this govern information we can't speak of? And it would be no to know how to do that. Next on my speaking list, I wrote Ariana. Are there any other questions? All right, I'm not seeing, so I'm Senator. First by Senator Felix, do I have a second? Second by Speaker Perez. Is there any discussion on that? All right, I'm not seeing. That will ballot vote. And Justice Yarborough will be around for ballots. Thank you. Senator Rusi Amandor, would you like to be added to quorum? That will set quorum to 7-0, and that will move us on to reports. So first up, we have senator report. Are there any senators who would like to provide a report? I'm not seeing any. Also, Tobias, congratulations, you have back for good. Okay, that will move us on to executive report. If your executive would like to write a report, please hold up your placard and I will talk about Director O'Neill and Senator first.
Hello again, everybody. Legislative Affairs Director Nate Arnoldi, so it's been a busy week for me. It started on Friday with the shared governance meeting with President Roberto Pacheco. During that meeting, we got a lot of good updates from all the separate UW campuses. We got a lot of context regarding System 1310. So if anybody's questions about that, please ask me and I can ask the right person. Besides that, we listened to Jay Rothman kind of clarify a couple things about the budget and our lobbying initiative. Besides that, we organized our lobbying trip. That brings me to my legislative affairs committee. That was an informal meeting, but we gave everybody that's going to lobby some basic instructions of who we're going to lobby and what our plan is. So please, if you plan on lobbying, please come to the legislative affairs committee. It's Monday at 11 o'clock, and this time we're doing 2 to 11. So give everybody a heads up. Next, I had a meeting with our chief of staff, Rob Mansky, about a lot of happenings on campus, some legislation that's being passed. One piece of legislation I want to make everybody aware of is that there's a bill being passed that could potentially ban any flag on campus or a fully operated government that's not the state flag, United States flag, or any other sanctioned flag or military flag. So this is just something I want to get feedback on before it gets officially proposed. Apart from that, I had a meeting with Maxwell Johnson. It's actually a funny story. I typed out an email for Maxwell Johnson, sent it, 5 minutes later he showed up in the office. Crazy coincidence, but I ended up meeting with him. He's looking for some people that want to lobby for Wisconsin conservation voters. I know there's a lot of CNR majors in the school, so if anybody knows anybody that wants to lobby for conservation efforts, just want to put that on everybody's radar as well. Besides that, we're just going to be calling representatives and scheduling meetings. The last thing I did, various shared governments, Chair Othman made a couple comments about ICE on campuses and what to know if ICE shows up. So I had a phone call with Lieutenant Trina James, and she clarified a lot of the laws regarding ICE on campus. So I just want everybody to be aware that all the rumors about ICE on campus were false, at least to her knowledge. They had not been on campus or anything like that. And besides that, a couple rules with ICE to make everybody aware of is that they can't enter any place that's not public, so a classroom or farm, they can't do. If anybody would like to know more about that, please let me know. That's about it. Are there any questions?
First of all, my students, I send
Oh, and I was just going to ask, Rules Committee meets at 11 a.m. It's planned meets for any senators that would like to participate but may not be able to make it back. You send out that is part of for animal time for them.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to try to make a PowerPoint presentation about everything in lobbying, so I'll send it to everybody. I'll try to animate it personally.
Are there any further questions? I'm not seeing any. Next up, I have Director Morshauser.
Hello, everybody. It's good to see you all again. I'll start off with, so my first major thing I did this weekend is I had a meeting with the AC director, Jackie Guthrie. It was a fantastic meeting. On behalf of Leo, I think we will have some professional advice coming in next Senate meeting. Thank you, City Press, for making that work. Sorry, I had to add extra flight. We also discussed having some sort of resources, getting physical copies of resources on campus to students, especially freshmen, sophomores, underclassmen that are in the dorms, might not quite have their foot totally in the door yet, and need that little extra help getting situated. So we do believe that the best solution to these problems and making sure every student is totally informed of what resources they have on campus is a magnet. I know me personally, I had 2 mini fridges in my dorm room my freshman and sophomore year. I used to stick all the magnets I got on those. So having that sort of physical resource available to you, we do believe as we'll go through, we're in the early stages of developing that. So thank you to the AC for that. On top of that, I had SUFAC training, boring but necessary. But I think general consensus on that. On top of that, I hosted our first text rentals joint subcommittee. Very special thank you to Chrissy Burgess for all of her help on that. I can't thank you enough. I think you're behind me, so I'll turn around for a second. Thank you. We talked a lot about the budget, and then decided as a group that we do believe that hiring a consultant to sort of come in here and help us sort of figure out the text rental process, as it is very difficult, is probably a good idea. So that is my time, my report, and I will open the question.
Hi. I remember last year, and then I think at the start of this year too, I got a magnet that had resources on it. Is that something that you've done or are aware of?
Yep, I think you got one with the mental health resources on it. That is something I have too in my house, several of them. We want to extend it to your other organizations, like the Tutoring Learning Center, your ACAC. We have developed new things like the Monster Health app. Having maybe a QR code on that would be a fantastic idea. But this is sort of more of a broader one that I don't necessarily believe that replacing the mental health one specifically is the main goal. But it's sort of taking that same idea, of course, as you mentioned, have a magnet, right? We hang on to magnets. Everybody loves magnets. And sort of expanding that to the rest of the resources.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just concerned sort of got to focus on the services that we money in that counters participation, and I think we should be putting our resources and services themselves rather than housing.
I respectfully disagree. I've been around. I'm on a football team with Jacob. You know, I'm on Model UN with Hayden. You know, I know all these people all around. And when you're talking about the Tutoring Learning Center, the ACAC specifically, or all the other organizations and resources we have on campus, a lot of them just simply don't know. I think that they're fantastic resources. Tutoring Learning Center, the ACAC, along with several other ones, serve our community very well. We can't give them enough justice on how much good they do to our students and I think that getting those resources out in front of people, making sure that they know they exist. So if you're going through struggling, look at the magnet, maybe you need help writing a resume, go to the ACAC, or you're struggling, so we have mental health thing, or you're cramming for an exam, look at your magnet, instead of going through all the separate tabs on the campus page, you can find tutoring learning stuff. So I will respectfully disagree on that. I do believe that updating resources is necessary part two, but making sure that those resources are out there in front of the student body, I think is the main concern.
Are there any more questions? I'm not seeing so.
Thank you all.
Senator Kessler, would you like to be added to quorum?
Yes, please.
Right, that would reset quorum to 8-0. Also, Director Gomez, congratulations, you've been approved for justice. Director John, congratulations, also been approved for Director Ariano's
Okay, 3 quick points here, so like Affairs Director. I'm excited in partnership with Rising Voice Poetry Societies for our Valentine's Week event. So we will be out in concourse tables Monday morning from 9 to 12, Tuesday from 12:30 to 4, Thursday to 11 to 4, and Friday from 11 to 4 as well. In addition to that, I've been working on some permanent spaces with Dr. Sam for basic RC, NAC, RC, in the capacity that are allowed to. In addition, I was able to meet up with Kitty to set up and get more information for the housing campus here for the semester. Questions?
There any questions? I'm not seeing something. Director Gomez report.
And this week was about finalizing my coding swap. Closer, all the other things. So yeah, that's up. Again, this event on February 5th. Anyways, there's still some spots that are open if you'd like to volunteer and just come and kind of tell people what to do and just be there to kind of help the spirit of it. So yeah, let's see. Everyone met today. We had a formal meeting, but we went over budgets and that we're planning on expanding and kind of getting people access to all those things. And with that, I also did have a question, but I would also like for proxies for green fund, since today is also stronger and we want green fund, although green fund bylaws are not very clear, they are just like SUPAC and grass, we want to stay consistent, and so I leave for proxies for that to happen. Again, our meeting times are Thursdays at 9 a.m. Zoom or in person. Not be or as needed basis. So and 5-share metrics. We Anna from the Office of Sustainability are lovely guys for today, and we kind of went over some of the steps that we're working on. Right now, I'm working on application for refund. We're a little share the things that we have come up quotes and grads.
Right, do we have a second? Second by Senator Buick. Is there any discussion on that? I'm not seeing, so that will vote that will support for green fund nominees. Yeah. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? By the ear of the chair at that. Senator Buick.
I'll nominate.
You accept? Speaker Perez? I will accept?
What time?
Thursdays at 9 a.m.
I'm not available.
Accept?
Thursdays at 9 a.m.
Speaker Perez?
Senator. Well, I'm not.
Senator Crosby? Accept? Guys, I will nominate Maida.
Thursdays at 9 a.m. Show nobody.
I will nominate. She accepts.
Will accept.
That's fine. Thank you. Speaker Perez. Okay. Do a second by Senator Buick. Is there any discussion on that? Okay, I'm not seeing any, so that moves into the voice vote. Both support for nominees. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? By the ear of the chair, that package passes. Oh, sorry. Speaker Perez. Second. Second by Senator Buick. Is there any discussion on that? I'm not seeing, so that moves into the voice vote. All in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? By the ear of the chair. That would move us on.
Sorry, guys. So again, Director Finance SGA. I've been really busy with women in business this past week, So I'll just kind of give you a couple major updates since it's a little bit late. President Leo Rivera and I have been working on the SGA newsletter, bringing that back up again. I've been working, having a block on that. So if you guys have any suggestions on what you think would be important to add onto the newsletter, I can have it vary and change every week. We plan to publish it every Friday, or I can have it stay pretty static with just a couple of changes. I'd love to hear you guys' suggestions, what you'd like to be added, and yeah. And then also, I have been doing my usual Instagram posts. Our Instagram reels have been getting a lot of traction. We're in the thousands, like how I said last week, which is really good. I hope to meet with Leo and possibly Pointer Studios to try to get more videos out because I think that that's really good for our outreach. And then also I have been working on a lot of graphics because a lot of the directors have been having a lot of upcoming events going on. So that is really awesome to see, and I hope to promote that. And then I've been working on the agenda script as well. I'll have a lot to say for next Monday's on the agenda. And then I have kind of been developing with Director Marshauser about what Teacher Appreciation Week is going to look like, and hopefully create promotional materials for that. And then I've been posting posters up in NFAC and the CPS, as well as other buildings. And yeah, that is it for my executive.
Are there any questions for Greg? I am not seeing you, so thank you. That will lead us to Director Sanders.
Oh, again, my name is Tara Zander. My week started off with a legislative meeting with I will be in our lobby today. Not only to make sure our campuses are getting funding, but also, like Director said, really emphasizing health resources. Biggest thing of my week, I finally got the room reservation for my women's wellness event. You guys have heard quite a bit about that if you've been in the office. That will be Tuesday, March 4th for Women's History Month. I do expect every single one of you to be there. So that event will be held in there. Vice President Bay and I have been discussing how we can really incorporate helping the community in that event. So we will hear more updates soon as organizations respond to my emails. But the best part about that is the date are finalized. I did have a joint meeting with some other directors and our president back here about really ensuring safety and communication on campus. We will be introducing legislation whenever we can get that written. But keep your eye out for that. I will be having to get that legislation passed. And speaking of, I do need senators on my committee. So if you are interested in joining the Inclusivity Committee, I encourage you to talk to me after this assembly meeting. I haven't finalized a date yet. That is definitely variable depending on all of our schedules, but it's once a week and I'm flexible.
Are there any questions for Director Zander? Director Marshauser?
Hello. I know we briefly talked about the safety on the road thing. You believe you mentioned lowering the speed limit, correct?
That is not the policy.
So what policies would you be mentioning when you talk about safety on?
Safety on campus, we're specifically talking about inclusivity related campus. So as Director Almondy addressed legislation for our vulnerable population on campus, whether it be immigrants or other minorities. That is what that specific.
Thank you very much. Sorry for that.
Are there any other questions? Okay, I'm not seeing something.
Give me a second. If I'm giving you papers, I'm giving you training during my report. Just don't write on them yet until
I already did that.
Okay, well then I will give my report first. So this week I've mostly been prepping for the two track weekends that are coming up. First day is tomorrow. So exciting. That being said, I'm gonna go over my list for this weekend of everybody that is supposed to. If you can no longer attend, I need to know right now, and you cannot back out. So, for Friday, tomorrow, from 3:45 p.m. 10:45 p.m., I have Neil, Hayden, Haley, Graham, Baby, Garrett. So then Saturday, I have Naomi, Hayden, Haley, Graham, and Caleb. Still going, but let me know now, otherwise I have. I wasn't. Are these for proxies, or do I have to do? These are proxies. Just have to be there via. All good with that day. So then this Sunday from 12 to 10:45 p.m. I have Naomi, Hayden, Haley, Graham, Caleb. All good on those days? Okay. I need everybody to show up, and you can show up via Zoom, totally fine. But I need you to be there every time. And you cannot make it for whatever reason, I'll be really unhappy and I'll have to figure something out. But I will need to know immediately if you cannot. I'll be doing this again next week for the next set of Suits Back weekends. Alright. That aside, I need one more DTSC proxy for King on February 24th from 12 p.m. to 1. People that I have are Jean, Jared, Caitlin, Aiden, and David. Via DTSC.
I just didn't hear you. Could you repeat the list one more time?
Yes. So for DTSC, I have Jean, Caitlin, Aiden, Al, and Katie. So I need one more person.
Is there any discussion on that? I'm not sure that was to open the floor for nominations for DTSC. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? By the there's that policy.
Go 1 p.m. on February 24th.
It's just that one.
It's that one.
Speaker press. Good. Is there any discussion on that? abstentions by the year of the check out. On camera. Any, second, second by Speaker Perez. Is there any discussion on that? I'm not seeing, so we'll place the vote. See. All in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? By the year of the chair, that passes. Next, and so take again. While they're doing that, those of you that got the sheet for me, there's a line that says like after reviewing this document. Please write your name, like print it on that line, and then where it says FY subsidies for requests, that line, just write 25. And then this giant section below that very last paragraph, please sign your name. It's basically just telling me that you've been neutrality trained. It makes it so that you can vote on budgetary things.
Budget director, no, can I get water before we do the budget out?
I can collect the paper if you sign. How's your guys? Stress. Can't figure out if I've had too much caffeine or not. So I kind of condensed PowerPoint to make it a little shorter because today's meeting is supposed to be like super long. Really sorry that I'm that. So to make it a little bit better, I made the PowerPoint shorter, just by a bit. So viewpoint neutrality is like it exists because a student named Scott Southward sued the Board of Regents over segregation. He argued that the university compelled him to pay for speech and expression that he fundamentally disagreed with, violated his rights. UW-Madison argued that the segregated enabled a wide range of student speech, which creates a marketplace of ideas that furthers the mission of higher education. Go to the next one. So then the Supreme Court said that said fees can only be non-refundable if access to the forum is neutral. In other words, the university can continue and levy mandatory by keeping perceived submission values out of the allocation. 8 times. Okay, so policy 820 exists to basically outline all of the criteria that must be met to make sure all that super quality stuff like that. The policy says or describes the quality, describes the criteria for the allocation of segregated. It creates a detailed record of situations. It provides registered student written reasons for denying funding. It provides mechanisms to avoid conflicts of interest by providing students involved in the allocation. Provides mechanisms to avoid conflicts of interest from students involved in the allocation process, which is basically that are voting on things if like in any way cannot be part of that organization.
And then they policy established an appeal process with student government for legislation, and it provides a process. So if you apply policy 820 to neutrality, EPN applies to the structure of the student organization and or their secretary requester. SUPAC should focus on how a student organization requester does, or they should focus on that, and if it and not if mission program or a student organization asks for the student body about climate change, segregated support it. Yes, as long as the process is viewpoint neutral and funding it. So, what are exceptions to this? What doesn't apply to VPN is fiscal responsibility. Efficiency of the requester, so your capacity to apply to the lobby. That seems a little question. Right. So, fund like tickets, but you could fund like relevance to the mission. If a student organization that involves teaching student body about knitting, probably shouldn't fund something about starting a petting zoo. Really makes sense. And then the level of services provided, just to make sure that it's going to be provided to as many students as possible. So the student organization that wants to fund the climate change event talks about their goals of educating how people impact the environment. Committee member shares that they don't believe that this should be funded because it speaks for one side of the argument and therefore violates the Is this appropriate? You're correct. No, it's not. It's a very similar situation with Salvador, Addison, the reason. So what you can consider, you can compare funding amounts to determine whether similar requesters were treated equally. So for example, one year Senate formally agreed to prioritize cutting long distance traveling. So that means cutting long distance traveling for all organizations. And then neutral eligibility criteria, it must be unrelated to the viewpoint or content of speech, and it must not have the effect of its unpopular minority. You also can consider use of funding applications to budgets, basically like those documents. Things that you can't consider, viewpoint that the requester has, how long the organization or the requester has been around, past funding levels if you're using it to determine minimum requester see purpose of the organization's and the success of it. So does viewpoint neutrality mean that funding levels must be equal for all requesters? No. Viewpoint neutrality is the process. It's not about the outcome. Different requesters may be funded at different levels, but not because they have to vote. Not because of requesters also require funding too. So the issues about funding, what financial information request, and look at the requester's capacity and ability by reviewing prior year's data, can review the prior requests and spending amounts, so their funding efficiency, but you can't use these as the only determining factor deciding. So you can take into account all university funding sources, such as APR funding and subsidies, but something you can't take into account is like the friends of them. So overall, remember that when you're making current year's request, look at the current request, consider the scope of the current request, consider all of the available allowed, and then consider the overall capacity and financial efficiency of
I'm Head Justice Yager, for those that are asking. As I'm sure most of you are aware, the applications for President, Vice President, Senate, that stuff all closes tomorrow at noon. So if you haven't put your applications in, please get it in from your Gene ASAP. ASAP Rocky, I'm serious. With that being said, I'm going to run through a few of the laws again. I'm sorry to all speakers who made it to the length of this meeting, but it's important that you all know the rules. So, all candidates must follow all policies of the university as well as state laws when they posters or signage. Advertising should use the name of the Student Government Association to comply with posting policies. All campus policies relating to the appropriate content must be followed. President, Vice President, and Senator candidates can posters, signage, social media, or any other online media soliciting votes and giving speeches may not begin until the candidacy of the applicants has been accepted. This is key because I know a lot of you who are like, oh, it's an application. You cannot speak about your policies, about anything like that until you have been approved by elections committee. And that will not happen until Monday. So I don't want to hear anything about it before noon. That's part of the law. And before you've spoken with me and Jean about what is allowed and what is not. So those of you who need to set up a meeting with me and Jean as soon as possible, those of you sending applications, so we can set the ground rules for that. Like I said, all campaigns begin at noon on Friday the 10th. Barring the intended meeting with me and Jean, we want to make sure everyone's aware of what's going on. Active campaigning shall consist of the distribution of campaign documents, materials, social media events, and any other circumstances that the committee may determine. All candidate teams need to have a meeting with me or Jean. No student government association officer may use their position or title to endorse a candidate. So the current title you hold cannot be used in any way to endorse the candidate. I think that's pretty clear. No student government association resource can be used to benefit any candidates. This includes the office. So everything that I've been saying for the last 3 weeks still stands. No talk about the election in the office. I don't care if you're referencing to it. I don't care if you think you're not talking about it and everyone else knows you are. You are. No individual organization may personally or through the agent or an agent spread false information about other candidates or solicit votes in any way. If you have any questions about specific things that are allowed, please contact me or Jean. We'd love to tell you all about it. Beyond that, I do need two proxies for elections committee. This meeting will be on Monday from 11:30 to 12.
I nominate Senator. Oh shoot! I moved to open nominations.
So it's seconded by Senator Stoichel.
Okay.
Director Nolte.
I just wanted to know who is currently on the committee.
Give me 1 second. Currently, it is Tara, Lisa, Powell, Bree, Jack has already approved proxy, and I think that is it.
Can I comment? Just because it conflicts with everybody's time, Bree and Felisa will not be able to make it. That's why we need 2 more.
This meeting is really important because we will be approving all the candidate applications, so if we can't have quorum, we can't do that. So I really do need
I promise it's gonna be a short meeting. I swear on my life. So I just need a body in the room who can say yes. You're already on the committee.
Alright, now can I have the answer?
Can I nominate myself?
Like, if I have one more, I'd love it. So if someone is available, swear to choose. Thanks, guys.
I'll entertain a motion. Second by further discussion on that. I'm not seeing so. For nominees, all in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Abstention. By here. Press. Second by second. Discussion on that. I'm not seeing any. Vote. All in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstention? By here the chair.
Appreciate it, y'all. The final thing is, if you were approved tonight for any position, I do have to see you after the meeting so we can focus. So don't run away.
Let me pull it up first. So this week has been really busy with me, trying to find times for elections that works for everybody, and also meeting with Head Justice Garger. One thing we also agreed on is that we're not using Felisa for any promotion of anything, since she is still a part of the SGA board, and that she is a resource. Just an FYI with that. On another note, I did do some one-on-ones this week with our directors and seeing what they were doing and their projects, which is going pretty great. I am going to finish meeting with the rest of the directors hopefully by next week. And if Jacob is still there, if he wants to meet with me on Monday so we can get his training started, that would be amazing. Quantum Review also met this week to discuss the SUPAC bylaws. We are hoping to hear some feedback from student orgs who request a larger budgets before that resolution passes. And also, executive staff meeting also met before Senate to do EpiPen training. So thank you to everybody who showed up. And earlier this week, I also met with Kitty Munnick and Mark Portis with Director Ariano discussing an off-campus educational event, which I believe it will be a pro event for those who will need it. And it will be held on Monday at 5 p.m. on February 24th in the DUC room 374. So basically what it entails is understanding a housing contract, vetting your landlord or lady, and any horror stories that they might share. And that's pretty much it with me.
Are there any questions? I'm not seeing people.
On to speaker for us supports. I'm over here. I go well, so I'm not going to be like on the podium.
Pretty short stuff from me.
That was lovely. I haven't done everything that I wanted to talk about. I've just been mainly having meetings all around scheduling to speak at General Assembly. I got some more as a free now, which I do have a bit of sad news for you guys. Senator Henderson did resign. Did come to last week on Monday, but after that he's done. He might come back. There's just some going on in his personal life that I won't disclose. So with that, I need one person. I am not over the floor for this. I don't care. I need one senator to set up rules because rules is important. We look at the General Assembly agendas. We approve the applications, send the legislation to a new business for General Assembly. If rules can't meet, General Assembly can't meet, / we'll have an informal meeting, which means nothing can get passed because it's a formal meeting. So rules is important. Rules meets on Mondays at 11 a.m. in the Senate office or on Zoom. They are usually very quick. They usually last 20 to 30 minutes. So if someone's interested in sitting on rules, I'd appreciate that. If you're new and you're interested, we'll have to abstain from any voting because we're not trained. So there's that, but I would still like to be there because for Chase, Sophia, and Tobias tomorrow around noon sent a win to me, so you can be trained. It would be easier if I trained you, all three of you, at the same time versus me spending all of my days training three of you. Maybe, yeah, like I said, I think our schedule sent the email to be sent. When it comes, fill it out as soon as you can, so I know when you meet. Great. Pocket shares. I need them. I really need them. CLS, CPS people, if you're interested in being a caucus chair, come talk to me. If you do need some caucus shares, including your rules, contribute. We have monthly caucus meetings, and that's kind of the general basis of a caucus chair. I was a caucus chair for about a month. I do have some experience. It is being a senator, but with a little bit more responsibility. It's quite enjoyable. So I might do a caucus election in the future. I wrote in my, this is another reference, only the Fox God knows if I will do a caucus election. That's pretty much it. You know, the typical write legislation, do your outreach hours, take care of yourself, and a lovely quote from Professor John Blakeman today, get some sleep. That's all I got.
Senator Nelson?
What are some events some outreach hours?
We do have some tabling events going on.
Comments? I wanted to ask you, outreach hours?
Yes.
I just wanted to say that I will also be hosting some tabling hours. So if you need any, just talk to me too.
Are there any other questions? I'm not. Thanks. I'll move us on to my report, and I will talk very, very fast. So basically, we had vice chair. So we had vice chair, and how and Anna from the Office of Sustainability for that. And so we're just working on finishing episode up, which is very exciting. I'm going on a Narcan training, and SGA is going to be working with the pre-med club on this, as well as Portage County Health. I'm meeting with them tomorrow. So, Jacob, if you're interested in going to that, please let me know. Yeah, so I'm meeting with them tomorrow. And the final year that has not been set in stone yet, but I hope that the Narcan is sometime in March. We are doing an FSN training for the student body in April for or 3 weeks, because that this year is Healthy Earth, so it fits perfectly. And right before this, I had Leonard Markman from and executives and certify them to be able to teach it. So we're going to be doing that, which is really, really cool. So I'm very excited to meet all of the new people. We'll be getting an email from me about sitting on a university committee. So one of the things you have to do as a senator is you have to not only sit on an SGA, but you are going to be a state representative for a committee over in Old Main. So it's a really cool opportunity, and you get to work with people like James Berry, and it's really cool. And they're all really, really nice. So, Closet Cleanup Day, I'm partnering with the Office of Sustainability and the Alumni Association for that on April 18th at 10:30. I would also really love if you were all there for that. And I'm meeting with Catherine, the Office of Sustainability, and Laura from the Alumni Association. That's coming up. And I'm also working with Kara on the National Women's Day event as well. So for the next week, my office hours are going to be And that's when I do my homework. So I'm not in the office. I'm sorry, but if you'd like to schedule a meeting with me, please do that. Just grace next couple of weeks and 2 days notice if you'd like to meet. And I have feedback. So that's all from me. Are there any questions? I am not seeing it, so that will move us on to September change reports.
To get my report started, I went to statewide shared governance, and that was really epic. We talked about lobbying day. Jay Rothman spoke on our current relations with the legislature in regards to the budget. He also spoke and addressed some of the concerns with federal agents on campus briefly. But one of the cool things that came out of this particular meeting was in my 2 years of going to statewide meetings, this is the first time I've met anyone from Superior. So that was really something. And then also former Vice President and Senator and Speaker of the Senate, Julia DeAngelis, also made a surprise appearance, so that was nice. She also chaired statewide back in the day, so there was a lot of nostalgia for her. I also worked on our subsidy presentation for this weekend, so next week, Monday, I'm going to be vouching for raises and all that good stuff with the new SGA budget. Let's see, what else? I also got to meet with Rob. We're going to be sending out several surveys. One is one that I'm going to be working on with Joseph, who we met today on Title IX. Another one will be a fall break survey to take to the Common Council Academic Affairs Committee so that we can get some feedback and see how students want to keep or change certain aspects of the fall break. And then the other one is the letter campaign, which right now we are holding off on sending that to the student body until Governor Evers gives his final presentation on his state budget. I also had my one-on-one with Julie, and I also met with Common PR Director Jean to discuss our newsletter, which we'll use. We'll send some videos with that, and we also have a article that is coming out pretty soon. Actually, funny story about the article I really want to talk about. So Andy from The Pointer, he's the one who interviewed me, and when he interviewed me, he actually apparently snuck through Secret Service security because it was the same day that Tim Waltz visited our campus. So one minute I'm sending an email saying, telling him, don't even bother, like, this place is locked down, they're not even letting you. And then he just appears in the office all of a sudden. So I don't know how I pulled that one off. We also have an executive interview tomorrow, and I'm also going to be helping promote an event that the counseling center is doing called Train Your Brain. I'm drafting the student body-wide email for that as we speak. All right, actually, as we speak. I attended Con Review where we are going through our SUFAC revisions. So if you're in a student org and you want to know how your org will be impacted by these revisions, please speak with me or Budget Director E. Miller. And Christy Roth helped me out with the fall break survey. I got some emails from concerned students in regards to ICE coming on campus. So I had a meeting with a few of those students yesterday to see how SGA could sort of help or alleviate that anxiety. I forgot to bring up the binder, but that red binder right there next to my nameplate, say you want to hold it up really quick? That is a binder that has been passed down from Ledge Affairs to Ledge Affairs, and essentially has a bunch of information on campus police policy, sort of a Q&A sheet regarding how we should interact with ICE, and then also little notes that you can carry around with you if you ever have to interact with an ICE agent. So yeah, let's see here. I also spoke briefly with Rob about trying to see how students will figure out if federal agents are on campus. So I'm waiting on word back from that. But other than that, the only thing I did today and took up a lot of time was our search and screen for our new COVAC dean. Dean Sisler will be retiring after this semester, and there is a whole new search and screen. So there might have to be another student who sits on that, but that'd probably be a COVAC student, so I'm going to reach out to COVAC students. And then I also want to take some time out of my report to notify all of you that Director Ashley has resigned from her position as Student Engagement Director. So that leaves a hole in the SUVAC. Get a proxy forward.
Bad proxy, guys. I'm so sorry.
Just one more.
Just one more, and I already have it figured out. So, your press. Right.
I'll open the floor for Subeck. Subeck nominations, yeah.
Second by Senator Wycheck. Is there any discussion on that? I'm not seeing, so I'm going to voice vote to open the floor for proxy nominees. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? By the chair, that passes. Senator Wycheck.
I nominate Senator Benny as proxy.
Accept.
Accept.
Speaker press. I am not seeing any. Voice vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? By the ear of the chair. Speaker press. Second by discussion on that. I'm not seeing any, so move to voice vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Abstentions? By the ear of the chair. That passes.
That's the end of my report.
So that moves on to new business, which there is none. Old business, which we have a resolution calling for campus traffic safety.
Hello, my name is Executive Director Jean. Just a little synopsis of what this piece is. Last year, me and previous Speaker Pro Tempore Elijah Maynard and I worked on this, thinking that there should be traffic signs around campus as 4th Street and a couple of other streets on campus is pretty busy, and we think it'd be beneficial to have like 25-mile-per-hour traffic signs or 15-mile-per-hour traffic signs everywhere.
I have a second. Second by Senator. Is there any discussion on that? Okay, I'm not seeing any, so that was a roll call vote. Just a reminder, any senators have to abstain. Okay, Speaker Perez. Senator Hewitt. Senator Zdrowski. Senator Shozel.
Aye.
Senator Wycheck. Senator Meny.
Abstain.
Senator Rusi Amador. Abstain. Okay. So that passes 5-0. Sorry. Senator Kessler.
Abstain.
All right. That passes 5-0-3. Congratulations. Great. That will move us on to announcements. Are there any announcements? Speaker Perez? Are there any other announcements?
A reminder for everyone that was appointed tonight, you have to take an oath after this meeting, so please don't.
Are there any other announcements? All right, I am not seeing any, so we will adjourn. I will adjourn this meeting at 8:55 p.m. To everyone.
Recording stopped.
Thank you for attending tonight, and